We are live on air, and I'm trying to talk to Swindon College, and I'm not getting any joy there. I suppose these are the links, the event page. We could send this. We're live. Dear, oh dear. Oh, this is disappointing. Well, hello, Swindon. I'm not sure whether you can see me. There's a message box on the right-hand side of the screen. Maybe we could communicate in that manner. If not, I'm here to answer some questions if I don't have any questions to answer. So frequently asked questions are about the device itself in terms of how you use it. So it's sensitive all over, which is very important. So you have a button, but then actually the whole surface, all of the deformable surface, is sensitive and active. So you have to think of it as like a whole. And this opens it up to be used in lots of different ways. So some kids use the buttony parts, which invite engagement and activity, and some use the edges. So you don't have to touch a sound to play it, and it invites a whole range of different types of interaction. The other really great thing with it on the sort of more of the technology end is it will speak to other software, and so really in a, I suppose in a college sense, it's been described as the equivalent of an accessibility ramp for your media lab. So it suddenly changes the way you can input into GarageBand and Logic and those sorts of things. So I've still got no viewers. This is most infuriating. Could we resort to a 15-minute Skype? It's such a shame because Google Hangs should work. Let's try adding you again. Zone SC, I'm following you. Invite. There goes Bing. I should be able to see you. Oh, what's happening? The zone?
Hello.
Hello. Hooray!
Hey, we got there. How are you?
I'm all right. My goodness me, that was painful.
It's because it got sent. I forgot. We got two channels on that. YouTube split us into two channels, and it went. And I was on a different channel on the Google Plus group. But we got there in the end. No worries.
Great. So what can I show you? Answer. What do you want me to do in the space of time that we have?
20 minutes. What do you want? Okay. Well, this is Sharon.
Hi.
Hi, Sharon. Hello.
I'd like to know a little bit more about the project in general, really, and exactly what it can do. So if you can show us any of that, that would be
Okay. So, I mean, just first off, have you seen any videos about it in terms of users or stuff? Or are you coming to this
I've seen some stuff with Becky, but it'd be good to see a little bit more and actually to hear from you.
Yeah. So.
And how it works.
Okay. So how it works is Scoog is a combination of this, which is a squeezy. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Playing the flute. So it's a squeezy tactile USB device. It has its own software platform, which I can show you. And maybe what I'll do now is, I'll do it in a second. I'll switch and show you the screen. But it will. So it has its own standalone platform that supports a whole range of sort of music-making activities and cross-curricular stuff. But essentially, the software is what you set this up with. And this is it's a tactile device, and it's sensitive everywhere. So it's not just the buttons. It's sensitive, the whole thing, and that invites it to be used and makes it possible to be used in lots of different ways. So you don't have to play it with both hands, you can play it with your feet, you can play it by tilting it, by twisting it, and so it supports everyone from kind of PMLD, quite profound range of abilities, and so more in kind of creative, expressive musical play or therapeutic play and kind of music making, right through to orchestral work and more creative stuff. People using it in bands, doing composition, recording, using it with GarageBand and Logic and these kind of things. The important thing with it is that it was created with the primary focus on users who don't have any musical knowledge or musical technology, music kind of tech knowledge. So so you can play this without knowing how to play an instrument or any kind of music theory, and also the teachers using it don't need to know any music theory or know how to play an instrument. So what we have found is it's enabling for both students and teachers. So I'm going to switch very quickly to sharing my screen. So you can I'll just show you quickly, nip through what it does, and then what I want to do is talk you through 3 or 4 video clips of students using it, so to illustrate the range of uses.
Yeah, brilliant.
Be us. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
Sounds good.
Very quickly, I'll just show you. Oh, I've lost my headphones. Very quickly, I'll just give you a quick lesson on how to set it up. Okay? So this is a USB extension. It's quite complicated. What you have to do is you have to take the USB plug and plug it in.
Brilliant.
I think you have to do
Yeah,
that.
That's it.
I think I can manage that.
But it is quite important because the majority of music technology involves kind of cables, wires, and setups and things, and it's just, people get switched off, turned off almost immediately, and particularly in a class environment where you just need things to be set up and working quickly. Otherwise, particularly limited focus, you can lose the students and it becomes very difficult. So that's how you set it up. So let me just switch to my screen sharing view here.
Set it up. Yeah.
There we go, and I'll just do it so I can see.
If you need any support with that.
There we go. So hopefully now you can see my screen, can you? Can you see my screen?
Yes. Was it?
Great. So I'm going to get rid of, so you can probably see yourselves, but let's get rid of it.
Yeah, we have.
There we go. So now hopefully you can sort of see me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the Skoog, and what you do is in its sort of musical mode, you choose it to be an instrument, and then you assign a different note to each surface. And so it can have 5 notes at a time. And those notes can be changed, and they can be anything, and they can be adjusted. But it's about presenting, so with a keyboard you have all the notes there all of the time, and you have to make choices about which are the right ones to use and when, and you don't need all of the notes all of the time for any piece of music. So it's trying to find a level where you can present a simple interface that makes sense on its own. So all the surfaces are orthogonal. If I press it here, it does one thing. I press it here, it does another. I just need to actually reconnect it because I disconnected it. I'm not showing you. That's how you reset the connection. There we go. And so it has 5 at a time, which gives you a palette to be creative with, but without being too demanding or daunting and leading to kind of mistakes and errors and problems of confidence and stuff. So that's the kind of premise behind it. I mean, there are two principal barriers to making music. One is having the skill to physically play the instrument. So being able to have the dexterity and know where the things are, and then the other is being able to grasp the relationships between your instrument and the notes that you're being told to play through the kind of score and these kind of things. And both of those things are quite challenging, and this removes both of those barriers immediately. But it doesn't dumb it down in any way. I mean, it's fun, it's playful, it's incredibly easy, but it is also used and it can also be very sophisticated in terms of how you play. And what we're really trying to do is connect you with the music you want to make with something that's simple and easy to use. So instead of, the whole Skoog project came from an embedded piece of work within schools, working with teachers and disabled young people. And the key thing is we didn't make a disabled instrument, we just made one that was easy to use and that could be used by people with a range of abilities. Okay? So this is the software, and you can see I'm pressing it, I get some feedback as to where I'm touching it. Sensitivity, there's a plus and a minus button. Plus is more, minus is less. Okay? Choosing instruments, you literally click on a picture.
Wow.
All right, so nice and easy. Let's choose the guitar. This is when it crashes. No, there we go. And now we have it's quite quiet on this feed.
Goodness.
Guitar on that. Or I choose a marimba.
Yeah.
Okay, so you choose it to be an instrument. This is in its music mode. It does other things. And then you assign a set of notes to it. So there's a bunch of built-in scales. Don't worry about this keyboard thing. You can just use built-in presets, and it dials them in. And these are pentatonic scales, which essentially 99% of the world's music is based on that. And actually means that using those presets, you can enable anyone to play with practically any piece of music. So although the Skoog comes with over 200 songs in terms of resources that are available to it, that are popular and and well known. It has teaching plans, lesson plans, samples, backing tracks. But the reality is the entire catalogue of world music is your resource book. There's nothing you can't work with this, and it doesn't require you to have this printed music or anything. Just have access to the sound itself, and you can enable people to work with that. So it's really great for age-appropriate stuff, which I can show you a bit on in a minute. So essentially, you set the notes, and then you've chosen an instrument, and that's you're away. It does have some other built-in things, like color following. So we could show you this, and look, it's like a kind of Guitar Hero thing going on.
It's on there, yeah.
You can see that. So I touch it and it follows. There's a limited number of those. They're meant as a kind of starting resource. They're great for some of our ASD users. It's a self-paced activity that you can do and they can do themselves. You can record your performances in it. It does it without any extra wires, and that's stuff that you can be saved and use in a student's work and tracking what they're doing and building up a kind of a corpus of material. It will also it has more advanced settings here where you can adjust the sensitivity so you can play it in more kind of idiosyncratic ways. So people playing it with their chin or using their feet, you sometimes have to adjust the sensitivity by surface. But you can save all of those settings as a profile. So each individual student can build up their own profile to really develop their skill on the instrument, or you can have a profile for the class project or a profile for other users. Again, it does MIDI. The other important thing that it does quickly before I show you some videos is you can record into it. So you can use pre-recorded sounds. It doesn't have to be music. We could say, hello. Hopefully that will go in. There we go. Now if I press the red, hello. It records straight in. So that can be words. It can be pieces of comprehension. Because we do find it's an accessible kind of object. And teachers want to use it for other things. I'm just going to have to nip off and plug my power supply into my laptop before it shuts down. Give me 2 seconds.
That straight away, he just recorded his voice. And why I liked this was because I didn't even know that it was going to be. Because when I saw it,
right, back. So now let's have a look at some. Yeah. Does that give you a little idea how it works?
Anything that's sorted out.
Does that give you an idea, sort of technically, how it works?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
Nice and simple. So now I just want to show you a few videos. I'm going to try and do this via YouTube, via this Google Hangouts. Here we are. Right, let's stop the screen sharing. Go back here. There we go. Now if I go here, is it going to, I might ask you to...
Yeah, use app, yeah?
Yeah, use it. So I'm just going to go through add videos playlist. So Scoob. There we go. So watch this one first. So I'm just going to pause that quickly. So can you see and hear that clip?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kieran is completely blind, and this teacher has set this up so anyone can do this. So he's got a piece of music that is being put on, and you just have to know what key that's in. We've got lots of stuff you can download, and it's written on the file. And by key, I mean the letter. So whether it's D or C or whatever. There's loads of sites where you can go to find out what key pieces of music are in. On our website, we've got a whole bunch of resources which tell you, go here, play that, and then if you set the Scoob to E or F, you can play along. And it's, it's like Ollie Murs or, actual music kids that want to play with. Okay.
Yeah.
But the important thing with this is he's playing. So he's just by playing with the object, he's able to express himself and be musical and play. And it doesn't require anything more than for the object to be presented in a way that he can access it, and for the context to be a musical one with with a tune that is the right, that he is tuned, that this is set to play with. Okay, so I'll just let him play. and you can see that he's not pressing it, he's just sort of plucking it and promoting him to explore and move in different ways. And for him even to have his head up is a big deal as a blind.
I've lost you.
Back again?
Yeah, back again.
Right, so that's it at its most simple. We've got loads of resources that support that kind of work, and it doesn't have to be, you know, we have a lot of older students who actually very quickly, you could, let's do this, so screen share my desktop. It's going to go bizarre, right? So you can see my desktop. I'm going to go new window, go to Skoog. So that type of work, that working with a young person like Kieran is one thing, but the same thing applies. So if I go here to top tunes, pop tunes, right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I could choose Calvin Harris, Summer, right? And on this page it tells me G major. I can link through to the song, and I would be able to enable any person then to play with Calvin Harris.
Wow.
So for older students, you know, it really enables them to start working with
Work skills will
stuff that they want to, you know, and actually and they can start to
singing something.
There are parts that they can download, and there's PDF scores in color they can follow. They can create their own, they record, but it really allows access to that world of music that really is what when you start playing music, you want to be able to play with music you want to listen to.
Yeah.
And then you get stuck with learning all the tunes and learning the instrument. That's boring, and it's not until you actually get to play tunes you want to that it's engaging. And you can go straight there with this. So I'm going to do another quick video. Let's do this. Just try this. Good. Let's try that. It's not on that. Yeah, so this is just a quick 5 minutes. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I can't see the. Can you make it any bigger, the screen?
I will do in a second. Just oh, I'm still on screen sharing, aren't I? Let's take that off. Sorry. So, go to YouTube. Is that better?
I can see you now.
See me now, and hopefully once I click this video, you should be able to see that as well. So this is an example. So this is a SLD student, 17. After a year's work, she started off not playing Skoog, and now she's playing Skoog in a mainstream orchestra. She's toured, she's played South Bank in London, Glasgow, Royal Concert Hall, Edinburgh. She's since left school, formed her own group, and has just released her first EP on Amazon. So you have a full learning journey there, and this was kind of an interim stage in it. Importantly, she's not just improvising, she's playing using, you can see she's got, well, you'll see when I run the clip, she's got music stands in front of her, and that has this coloured score in it, which is blocks of colour, which she refer to the Skoog object. So it's very concrete. She sees yellow, she presses yellow. If it's long, she holds it for a long time. But I'll let her play so you can see. But it really demonstrates the opportunity for development. And for her now, so she plays a variety of different technologies now, but for her, Skoog was the sort of gateway instrument. And that can happen, you know, many different ways, you know, other technologies can lead into it. But let me just play the clip.
We can't see the video, Ben.
Okay, let's try this again. So YouTube, has that come up yet?
No.
Let's try it. Start from scratch. In the app. Getting that?
No.
Right, well I'm going to do it via my screen then, just very quickly. You could see it before.
You could send us the video and we can watch it.
I can do that. I can do that. So so we'll support that.
To go in a minute. So.
And then finally, I would say, just really importantly, but I'm going to do this I'm going to show you this video on my screen. So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get rid of that. Last but not least, Up here. So this is an example of a high-functioning autistic girl using Skoog, and I can hand on heart say she's never had a Skoog lesson. Right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's going to accompany herself singing Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," and this is Skoog, I think, used at its best in terms of she's just playing music for the joy of playing it. There is no educational goal here other than that she enjoys herself and has fun. I mean, if you're having fun, you're going to learn and you're going to benefit and all those kind of things. So she has the notes set on it to accompany herself, and she's just playing by ear, and she's very musical. She's very good, but it does demonstrate how intuitive it is and how much fun it is. So I'll just run this clip for a bit. Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, that's okay. It's just I want the students' folders.
Yeah, sorry.
It's frozen.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, what I'll do is I'll send you the links for those two videos.
Yeah, brilliant. And
That you can watch them.
Be good.
So the key thing with that one is, it's about, fun, engaging, and playing with music that you love.
Yeah.
And she's not, it's not an instrument she's had to be taught. It's something that she's able just to pick up and use. And I would imagine there's quite a lot of students who could do that.
Okay.
And the other important thing I wanted to mention is the fact that it does all its own stuff, but it will speak to GarageBand and Logic and these other programs. So if you're using it in a media lab with older students doing, more creative work.
Yeah.
So the standard input into any of this stuff normally is a keyboard, a guitar, or a microphone.
Right.
So you need to be able to use those things. But with Skoog can be the input to those. So suddenly you make GarageBand in terms of not just using loops stuff, but they can actually play the instruments. The learners that
we're going to be using it with at the moment, we won't be doing that level. I would have thought at the moment. What we want to use with is our PD students and our work skills students, and really and probably bots as well, and to get them engaged, them using it. And then if it does take off, and and the next minute we know we're teaching them how to edit, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, the other thing is don't see how you go. But I mean, nearly every institution that's purchased always has the same thing where you have a specific focus in mind, which is usually how things work. But there won't be anyone at the college who wouldn't benefit or get positive things out of using it.
Yeah.
So do try it in different contexts and see.
No, we will, but we need to get to grips with it and see it being used with our learners at the moment who they're being bought for, and then move on really.
Okay.
So the next step really is that the quote's gone to ordering. We've now got to wait because we've got a new build, and that's why we've been able to get this, is because we've put it in with I've been given some money to get technology for the new department. So where we're at the moment is that that's gone through. I've now got to wait then until they do the project, they build the building, then the technology will come. So you'll probably get it in the next, I don't know, I'll just keep you in the loop once I know something. Training wise,
about 9 months or something, or?
Pardon?
9 months.
Oh no, like three months.
Oh right, okay. I was just thinking still the building.
Spent by the end of August.
All right, okay.
No, this is Andy. He's the curriculum area manager for the area.
Right.
So so it's got to be ready and ready to use September the 3rd.
Yeah. And what did you go with quotes wise?
Pardon?
We sent you several different ones. Which
Yeah, they went straight over. Because we have to give them different things, you see. So what I've done is I've just sent the quotes over. Andy and I are going to look at them as well from our end, and then go back and say this is what we think.
Okay.
But we're going to get 5, and we're going to get and the day training. But the day training probably won't be until we get them, and probably in the August September time.
Mm-hmm. One thing to mention. This will be. Are you going to be using this with PCs mostly?
Yes.
one thing I would recommend possibly is getting a few little sound cards, outboard USB sound cards that they take the processing weight off the PC itself. £50 a pop. But it will really improve.
Can you email me?
I will email you some links to
Andy and
suggested
I can
ones.
put that in our kit list.
Yeah, because
that's great.
I mean, it will run on the PCs, but sometimes you can get problems and it can be fast and slow always times. Whereas one of these little breakout boxes, 50 quid, and you're sorted.
Yeah. When you're using this, do you always have to be near a computer?
I use a 5-meter or 10-meter extension.
So you do then.
Right. So you've always got to be in a room with a computer.
You have to be connected to a computer, yes.
Right.
And you have multiple connections to the same computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would that work in the hall? Say we're doing something in the hall with the one computer.
But we're going to have the prestigio boards, so we'll just wheel the prestigio board over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
No, we do a lot of work in concert, in halls where the computers maybe or a laptop's hidden away, and
Yeah, we've got to go because we're being kicked out. What I'll do is if I thank you for that, I will
Thank
give you. I'll give you a ring at the end of the week or the end of next week. All right.
All right, no worries.
All right. Thank you ever so much.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.